Time measurement in ancient Vedic science. Greetings to the viewers and listeners of Lecture 5 Part 2 under the lecture series on the Vedic Big Bang by Shiv R. Pal. The title of Lecture 5 Part 1 presented earlier was Time Entity in the Vedas. The title of Lecture 5 Part 2 is Time Measurement in Ancient Vedic Science. Let us compare the Western and the Vedic time divisions, the time scales in two systems. The definition of a day in the two systems is the same. A day is the time taken by one complete spin of the earth around its own axis, or a day is the time elapsed between one sunrise to the next. With the common definition of a day, the two systems move on two different tracks from there on. In the Western system, a day is divided into 24 hours, and in the Vedic system, a day is divided into 30 muhurt. In the Western system, the smallest time unit in common usage is a second. In the Vedic system, the smallest time unit in common usage has been the nimesh. The term nimesh appears in several Veda mantras. In the qualitative application, the Sanskrit term nimesh stands for an action, that down strike of the eyelid in a blink. In the quantitative application, the term nimesh stands for a time measurement, the time taken in a down strike of the eyelid in a blink. For the Vedas, the blink of an eye is made up of two separate actions, closing and opening of the eye. Each action is extremely fast. The term nimesh is a conjugation of two terms, ni plus mesh, downward plus strike, the context being the strike by the eyelid in a blink of an eye. The Sanskrit term for restoring the eyelid back to its opening position is unmesh. The definition of the day being the same in two systems, a relationship between the two systems can be established. Consider a day of 24 hours. One day in the Western system equals 86,400 seconds. One day in the Vedic system equals 486,000 nimesh. Dividing the two numbers gives the relationship between a nimesh and a second. Thus, 1 nimesh equals 86,400 divided by 486,000, which is equal to 8 divided by 45 seconds, about 1/6 of a second, which is equal to 0.17778 seconds, or equal to 177.78 milliseconds. The round off number for one image therefore is 178 milliseconds. Two immediate conclusions are obvious here. 1. If the Vedic rishis had a time unit of nimesh in their time division system, they must have been able to measure a nimesh, which is 0.17778 seconds, or they would not have introduced the time unit of nimesh. 2. When comparing the smallest time units in common usage in the two systems, a nimesh and a second, the Vedic scale yielded a finer time resolution. To put it in perspective, just as a Western astronomer would say, the accuracy of the onset of the Western calendar at midnight on the morning of January 1 is within 1 second, a Vedic astronomer would say the accuracy of the onset of the Kali Yuga period, the natural calendar of the Aryans based on astronomy, on February 18, 3102 BCE is within 1 nimesh. Talking about the accuracy of measurements, when the French astronomer Jean-Sylvain Bailly in 18th century examined a set of astronomical data recorded by Indian astronomers in India, he confirmed their accuracy and remarked, "The calculation of Brahmans, scholar astronomers, is so exactly confirmed by our own calculations that nothing but actual observations could have given so correspondent a result." This is from the Theogony of the Hindus by Count Bajorust-Jorna in 1844. The Vedas in their mantras bestow titles and scholarly honors on the Vedic rishis, sages such as Adhyataya, a scholar of time science, Matali, a cosmologist, Vishwavid, scholar of the functioning universe, Kalvid, scholar of time entity and time cycles, Angiras, scholar of heat and energy science. This shows the rishis had carried out research and experiments in these knowledge areas. The Vedic time scale is directly based on the book of Manusmriti, authored by the ancient great scholar King Manu of Aryavart. Aryavart is the most ancient name of India. It means the place of the Aryans. The Aryans of India, now known as the Hindus, are indigenous to India. This author has devoted chapter 3 of his book, The Vedic Big Bang, on facts of Vedic history that negate Max Muller's theory of Aryan invasion. Numerous references, including those from the state-of-the-art genetic research under the National Genome Projects, references being Sahu et al. And Sengupta et al., have further helped debunk Max Muller's Aryan invasion theory. King Manu in the 64th shloka couplet of chapter 1 of Manusmriti has provided the time scale in 5 divisions between a day down to a nimesh. Nimeshadaschastau chakashtha trinshattutakala trinshat kala muhurtah shadahoratram tutavata. This author has translated this shloka couplet directly into the table below. One ahoratra, 30 muhurt. One muhurt, 30 kala. One kala, 30 kashtha. One kashtha, 18 nimesh. And one nimesh is the smallest practical time unit. Let us put the conversion factors from both systems in a sequence. Western scale gives 1, 24, 60, 60, a day, hours, minutes, seconds. The factor of 60 is dominantly present among the 3 multiples, but the number 24 is oddly sitting there. Why 24 hours in a day? That is a topic for another lecture. Vedic scale gives 1, 30, 30, 30 and 18. day, muhurt, kala, kashta, nimesh. The factor of 30 is dominantly present in the Vedic system among the four multiples, but the last number 18 is oddly sitting there as well, for different reasons though. I will not go into the details of why there are the factors 30, 30, 30 in the Vedic scale. It should suffice that they relate to solar, lunar, earth astronomy. However, I surmise that King Manu added the odd number 18 to the Vedic scale for two basic reasons. One, Manu wanted a more sensitive time resolution below the unit of Kashta, which is only 3.24 seconds. Two, Manu may have wanted the time scale to relate to an invariant of human physiology, the nimesh being half the blink time of the human eye. The question now is, how good is Manu's number of 486,000 nimesh in one day, or 178 milliseconds in one nimesh? Let us examine this on the basis of the state-of-the-art technology. Measurement techniques considered here are by Grauman et al. And Chow and Batke. They employ computer interface of digital cameras with known frame rate to detect movement of the eyelid. They measured the blink time of a human eyelid. The laboratory measurements yielded a statistical range for the total blink time, nimesh plus unmesh, for normal human eye to be about 300 to 400 milliseconds. The times for nimesh and unmesh are found to be equal. Therefore, the measured statistical range for nimesh only is 150 to 200 milliseconds, giving an average of 175 milliseconds. Manu's 1 nimesh equals 178 milliseconds. This is extremely close to the measured value of 175 milliseconds. This is not an ordinary result. Two numbers, one generated by King Manu in the distant history of human civilization and the other measured by employing modern technology, are extremely close. Without modern techniques, if King Manu measured a nimesh to be 178 milliseconds, King Manu must have been an excellent physicist. It seems obvious to this author that King Manu introduced the nimesh into the Vedic time scale to connect physics to human physiology. Concluding note: the Vedic literature indicates that the ancient Aryans have been using the time units in practical astronomy smaller than a nimesh, such as the Truti, half a nimesh or 0.09 seconds, Pran, Pal, Vipul, etc. The case of nimesh remains intriguing. It is obvious that the ancient Vedic rishis followed a rich science discipline. To order the book titled The Vedic Big Bang, a New Cosmology Scenario Revealed in the Ancient Veda Mantras of India by Shiv R. Pal, click on the following links. Both volumes in ebook format are also available from the same website. Thank you.